The US-China trade war has hit a critical point. Years of simmering tensions erupted in April 2025. Both countries imposed significant tariffs on each other's products. These tariffs, a hefty 34%, mark a new low in their strained relationship. This escalation has sent ripples through the global economy. The consequences are widespread and potentially devastating. This latest phase of the trade war is driven by a complex mix of factors. Economic rivalry remains a major driver, but geopolitical tensions and accusations of unfair trade practices also play a crucial role. The issue is further complicated by fentanyl trafficking, a major concern for the US. The US claims China is a primary source of the deadly drug. The current standoff is a significant escalation from previous tariff battles. Earlier rounds, while disruptive, mainly targeted specific industries. This time, the tariffs cover a broader range of goods. This escalation indicates a hardening of positions on both sides. It raises serious concerns about the future of global trade. The world is now watching with bated breath. Will this trade war spiral further out of control, or can cooler heads prevail, leading to a negotiated settlement? The answers to these questions have profound implications for everyone. The US initiated the latest escalation in the trade conflict. On April 2, 2025, the Biden administration unveiled extensive tariffs on a broad range of Chinese imports. These tariffs, set at 34%, affect goods worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The announcement sent ripples through the global market. China quickly retaliated. Within hours, Beijing declared counter tariffs on US products. These matched the US tariffs in both breadth and magnitude. Chinese officials emphasized they would not retreat from this confrontation. The 34% tariffs mark a significant intensification from previous rounds. They represent a substantial rise in costs for businesses and consumers alike. The effects are already being felt across various sectors. Prices are increasing on everything from electronics to clothing. These tariffs are causing a ripple effect throughout the global economy. Nations heavily dependent on trade with the US and China are feeling the strain. Uncertainty prevails as businesses scramble to adapt to the new circumstances. As economic competition quietly intensifies, the fentanyl crisis has emerged as a critical issue in US-China relations. The US claims China is a primary source of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid devastating American communities. According to the US, Chinese chemical companies are producing fentanyl precursors and sending them to Mexico. These precursors are then utilized by Mexican cartels to produce fentanyl, which is smuggled into the US. The Biden administration has called on China to take action against the production and export of these chemicals. China, however, refutes any involvement in the fentanyl crisis. They argue that the US must tackle its own domestic opioid demand. China highlights the overprescription of painkillers in the US as a fundamental cause of the crisis. This mutual blame has further strained US-China relations. The fentanyl issue has become a significant barrier to any potential trade agreement. The US insists that any deal must include definitive measures by China to reduce fentanyl production. This requirement has become a major point of contention in the negotiations. In response to US tariffs, China has deployed its own set of economic countermeasures. One significant move has been blacklisting American companies. These blacklisted firms face severe restrictions on their operations in China. This includes bans on investments and procurement contracts. Another potent tool in China's strategy is export controls. As a leading producer of rare earth minerals, essential for many high-tech products, China holds significant leverage. By limiting these exports, China can disrupt global supply chains, putting pressure on US companies. China's retaliatory actions extend beyond the economic sphere. They have also initiated a propaganda campaign to undermine the US. State-controlled media depict the US as a bully engaging in protectionist tactics. China's approach signals its readiness for a prolonged trade conflict. They are prepared to endure short-term economic pain to achieve their long-term strategic objectives. This determination raises the stakes for the US, increasing the likelihood of a prolonged standoff. Section 5. Global markets reel. Supply chain. Chaos. The US-China trade war is causing major disruptions in the global economy. The interconnected global supply chains mean that tariffs from one country affect the entire world. Companies around the globe are under immense pressure. These tariffs are breaking down established supply chains. Firms dependent on US and Chinese materials are facing tough decisions. They must either bear the higher costs or seek new suppliers, often at a premium. These disruptions are causing delays and shortages. Consumers are noticing the effects on store shelves. Some products are becoming pricier or scarce. The uncertainty is making businesses postpone investments and expansion. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has highlighted the trade war as a significant risk to global economic growth. They believe the tariffs are creating uncertainty and damaging business confidence. This uncertainty could trigger a global economic slowdown. Section 6. A nation divided. The political fallout. The trade war with China has exacerbated the political rift within the United States. The Biden administration maintains that the tariffs are essential for safeguarding American jobs and interests, while critics contend that they are detrimental and damaging to the U.S. economy. Republicans have predominantly opposed the tariffs, arguing that they negatively impact American businesses and consumers. They accuse the Biden administration of mismanaging the situation and failing to negotiate a better deal with China. Democrats, however, are more divided on the issue. Some endorse the tariffs as a necessary step to address China's unfair trade practices. Others are concerned about the impact on American consumers and the risk of an escalating trade war. The trade war has turned into a political football, with both parties leveraging it to gain political advantage. This politicization complicates efforts to resolve the underlying trade disputes. Section 7. Can this trade war be won? The idea of winning a trade war is intricate and multifaceted. Trade wars don't produce clear winners, only varying levels of economic hardship. Both the US and China are experiencing the repercussions of the tariffs. The US economy is encountering challenges due to the trade war. Tariffs are driving up inflation, increasing costs for consumers and businesses alike. Sectors like agriculture are particularly suffering from China's retaliatory tariffs. China is also under significant strain. The tariffs are decelerating its export-reliant economy. Chinese businesses are grappling with higher costs and diminished demand. However, China has more domestic tools to alleviate the impact. The longer the trade war continues, the more harm it will cause to both economies. It remains uncertain which side will concede first. The resolution will hinge on a complex mix of economic and political dynamics. Section 8. The future of global trade. Uncertainty reigns. The intensifying trade conflict between the US and China has created significant uncertainty about the future of global trade. The established rules-based trading system, which emerged after World War II, is facing unprecedented challenges. This trade war has highlighted the World Trade Organization's WTO struggles in mediating disputes between major economic powers. The WTO's ability to resolve disputes has been compromised by the Trump administration's decision not to appoint new judges to its appellate body. This situation brings up critical questions about the future of globalization. Will the world shift towards protectionism and economic nationalism, or will rational minds prevail, ushering in a new era of cooperation and open markets? The answers to these questions will have significant consequences for the global economy and international relations. The stakes are immense, and the world watches with bated breath as the US and China continue their high-stakes economic standoff.